Thank you, UN Watch, first for having me here. And I would thank UN Watch family in Geneva for helping me since I left my country. Um, as she told you, my name is Hadeel Kouki. I was born in 1991 in Syria. I left Syria about 16 months ago after participating it was at the beginning because of my activities, peaceful activities in the revolution in Syria against the regime, Al-Assad regime. That was 2 years ago when the regime first arrested me, the secret police actually, in the city of Aleppo with 5 of my colleagues when we distributed leaflets in the city of Aleppo calling for freedom, asking people to share us in protests on March 15 against the regime, asking for freedom, asking for justice in the country of Syria. They arrested me with my colleagues for 40 days in jail. We spent really hard days there. I was subjected to mental and physical torturing in jail. I spent long nights, really hard nights, sleeping on the floor in the freezing soul. Then they finally released me and released my friends, but that wasn't the end because they arrested us again few months later when they found out that I continued my activities with some like student groups and supporting also the peaceful protests in cities as Idlib and Aleppo. I was also subjected to torturing as a lot of women there, and of course first because I was against this regime, and second because I belong to a minority. It is Syriac Orthodox in Syria. In every time in jail I was hearing the sounds and the shouts of women being tortured in jail, tortured in really very bad ways. They were torturing women. They were bringing women as hostage to bring like men from their families. They were also killing a lot of women in jail and out of jail because of their activities. Some women were helping like injured people and do a lot of activities in Syria during the revolution. They were really torturing them in very bad ways, just because they are women, and also of course because they are activists against the dictatorship. Uh, Also, a lot of journalists was killed in Syria, from journalists from Syria and from also overseas. I mentioned here the American journalist Mary Colvin. She's from New York. She was killed in Syria because she was there just to cover the what was happening. She was killed by the official army of Syria. Yeah, and also the women were really subjected to all kinds of like bad treating in Syria, in jail and out of jail, in the rebellious regions against the regime. A lot of women in those areas were subjected to rape and all kinds of bad treating. And always the suffering of women in Syria wasn't like limit to torturing in jail or from the regime. If we want to talk about the suffering of women in Syria, we have to mention what happens to women when they get out of jail. The suffering in the community that welcomes women after jail as guilty, as like not good women, while they welcome the detained guys as heroes. Like, yes, you are a hero. You were very brave to stand against this regime. while because you are a woman you have to after jail, although the community knows that this regime is a bad regime and oppresses this woman, but the yeah they treat this woman as if she did like a big shame. So they keep her at home, they prevent her from maybe studying or doing completing her life, her normal life. And that's really really bad because they think like the woman in jail, even if she was arrested because of her like ideas, is a shame for her family, is a shame for her like community. Yeah, and y- despite of all of that, I would tell you the woman like the woman in Syria used to be like uh, Syria in general used to be a country that grant women the rights in past actually. And as a student of law in Syria, I was a student on law of law in Syria. I knew that a lot of laws that like take the rights from women were just created recently, like few tens of years in the age of dictatorship of Bashar al-Assad and even before. Like there is the so-called honor crime law that protect the man, protect any man in the family who kills her like one of the women in the family in the name of honor, in the name of dignity. Also we created a law that prevent the woman from granting her kids the citizenship of Syria. Also, there are a lot of laws that are like discriminating women in Syria. But I can tell you that wasn't like long time ago. Women in Syria used to have the rights. Women in Syria used to be presented in the parliament long time ago, even before the United States and other countries. Yeah, and I don't know, but with all of that, I still have the hope in Syria. I still have the hope in better future in Syria because I still have really brave friends fighting the regime in Syria now, struggling against the regime and against also some other groups who were created just like few months ago. Some radical Islamic groups who are fighting the regime, but not in the name of freedom, not in the name of justice. Unfortunately, in the name of Islam. Some groups, like supported the Saudi Arabia and by Saudi Arabia and Qatar and other radical Islamic countries, they found a place for them in Syria to fight and try to rule Syria in the name of Islam. But we still have some people, and a lot of people, actually the majority of the people, fighting them and struggling against them, although those liberal women and also liberal men who are fighting them uh, don't find the real support from the United States, from Europe, from the liberal countries, the democratic countries, but they are still struggling and trying to reach the freedom that we dreamt about it from the beginning. Yeah, and I still have the hope because of you, because a lot of people I have met them since I left Syria in Europe and in other Arabic countries and in the United States that believes in the women rights and believes in supporting the women in countries like Syria. At the end, I want you to excuse my English. I think it wasn't not very good.
Excellent. It was excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
And thank you so much.